Today, the White House alleges that a new South African law, which redistributes unused land to the state, is racist, and that the white minority is being persecuted by the black-led government. President Trump even halted all aid to South Africa back in February.
Top.
Yes, sir. What's good? What's popping? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let's get to it. 3, 2, 1. Top Hill, episode 226. Welcome to another episode of the Top Hill Live. This is your boy, Mr. Top Hill Live, a.k.a. Imani Raw.
And I am D. Carmen.
D. Carmen in the building. Yeah. Yes, Thirsty. We back, y'all, to give you guys another great episode, man. But anyway, speaking of rifles, so we got the Afrikaners just pulled up to America.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah, let's get into that, man.
On Elon's internet.
All right, guys. We're going to get right into today's episode. Welcome if you guys are new here. You guys already know what this is about. This is a show dedicated to bridging the gap. This is the hub for the diaspora completely. So shout out to all the people that are on the continent and spread up all over the world, man. We're here to connect together, learn together, grow together, and yeah. This has been all over my timeline. Apparently, we kind of saw this coming, you know what I mean? Because we definitely did a video on this. Shout out to Wotamaya, going to, what was that place called again?
The anti-black?
The Orania? Yeah, the South African white-only city. Just for context, for anybody that does not know what's going on here, I forgot I have my ChatGPT connected to my Google for now.
I do too.
All right, so we have Orania, which is a self-declared Afrikaner-only town located in the Northern Cape province of South Africa, established in 1991, just before the end of apartheid. It was founded with the aim to preserving Afrikaner culture, language, heritage through the creation of Volkswagen? Or Afrikaner homeland.
The culture.
Right. So it's okay when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it. So the same thing happened. That's actually a good parallel. I'm thinking about Burkina Faso. Mm-hmm. Like them wanting to protect their own land and their own culture, which actually does belong to them. It's a problem.
But when it's in...
But when it's a outside group, a minority group that came here, came to South Africa.
When it's in chalk.
They decide. Okay. Anyway, it's a lot to get to. Let's go ahead and.
Where are we starting?
I actually like this is up here. Let me see. Okay. Let's start off with this video, so we can kind of get a quick synopsis of what's going on. All right.
One group of refugees are receiving a warm welcome from the Trump administration. A stark contrast, as most refugees have been halted from entering the US. The exception, white South Africans. They are set to land in the US today. And these Afrikaners, white descendants of primarily Dutch colonizers, have been singled out.
Let's see how many times we hear that
right
throughout the episode.
Call them who they really are. I appreciate, shout out to the Hill for calling them what they are. They are white colonizers. I know when we did watch the video, it's like, hey, they've been here for 400 years or whatever, how many years. But
I was talking about the Dutch.
Right. The Dutch is claiming that they have been here for so long. This is their land.
But it's like, that's like if I come and I borrow your blanket and I'm like, well, I've had it for a couple of years now, so it's technically mine.
That's like any black if you go to Atlanta, it'd be like, yo, we've been ruling Atlanta for like a minute now. It's been like a black city in America who does its own thing and stuff like that. Imagine if Atlanta, the mayor, Fulton County, DeKalb County, and everybody got together and said, you know what? This is a black-only city. Mm-hmm. We are not going to allow other nationalities into the city because we want to preserve black culture and entertainment here.
Well, can we do that since they're throwing it out there? Since it's okay.
It's blowing it's literally blowing my mind. We're gonna get to the comments today too. Shout out to Steiger. He said Africans only. I don't think English speaking whites can live there unless they convert.
They're relocated where?
Yeah, so yeah, I got you. Yeah, so this is Afrikaners only. This is the Dutch immigrants that colonized part of South Africa. This does not include the white British colonizers of South Africa. This is just the Dutch, the people who made the Orania city. They're upset because the black government of South Africa, or the government of South Africa, they pretty much said that, was it eminent domain is what I believe it's called, when the government decided that they want to use a certain land for certain things. I mean, it's wild that this city, they pretty much took themselves off the grid. They're looking at themselves as their own separate sovereign land, where they have their own school, their own they have their own education, their own hospitals. Nothing wrong with that, right? But they're using their own power supply. They're using their own agriculture and land. And the big part is they're using their own money. They're not using the country's money. They're creating their own currency. So it's very intentional what they're doing. They're separating themselves from being in South Africa, even though they're in South Africa. That is completely wild to me, because I'm thinking with a logical brain here. If a darker skinned race decided to do this in any other country, if this was opposite, South Africa is a black country predominantly. Mm-hmm. We in America, this is a white country predominantly. You can't have a black person. You can't have a black person trying to create their own land or sovereign land, like in Atlanta, for an example, and have them run everything and say no whites allowed. We're trying to preserve our culture. No, like Donald Trump will be in there next day with the National Guard saying, y'all niggas need to move. The fuck are y'all talking about? Y'all not using the U.S. dollar in here. You're gonna lose y'all mind. So, speaking of losing mind, but yeah, let me get back to the comments. And he said, and good luck, guys. I heard they're relocating to D.C. Yes. So we did see the news. They did land in Dulles National Airport, which is one of D.C.'s international airports. So yes, the first group did land here in D.C. yesterday. Damn it. Or yesterday or today. I don't know.
Goddamn planes.
It was a problem when the Haitians got here. It's like, no, but,
it was a problem at the beginning of the year. Right. But all of a sudden, all the planes working.
Yeah. Right. These planes magically had no issues getting here. But anyway. Yeah, so they did.
But my thing is, like, just imagine, and not even imagine because it's clearly reality, but it's just like the irony of relocating to a predominantly black continent.
Yes.
And then not only not wanting to assimilate with the surrounding cultures and bring your own, but to say that the people native to the land can't come there. Right. And then here we are in America, and we're like, yeah, the people that are native to this continent cannot only not come here, but we're going to invite some more people who aren't from here as long as you're, you pass the paper bag test.
Imagine telling a Native American, like, I know this is your land that we stole and raped and pillaged and did all this stuff, but you're not allowed to come visit D.C. Like,
here's your reservation and $40. You make it work.
It's just like a morality thing.
You can't use our water, and you can't use our water.
Right. Let's see. The comment says, I give those Afrikaners 6 months max. They will be back in South Africa. I ain't gonna lie, because they can't be making their own money in America. Talking about, we're gonna start our own sovereign Orania city in America. No, like.
Oh, I guarantee you that they're going to get some type of stipend.
They're getting refugee status, so they're able to come over here, still keep their South African citizenship. They're able to.
So what's my thing is, what's the end goal? Because this isn't for no reason.
Okay. This is a great question. What are the benefits of the Afrikaners coming to the U.S.? Let's see what benefits they'll get from this. Because I know it's so funny. It's like refugee says, like, oh my God, these poor people are have to move out because their country wants their land back. Like, they want the land back that y'all stole. It's as simple as that.
So you come over here to our land?
Right.
Well, I guess it's not our land anymore. It's just the land we were forced to be in. But
oh,
do tell.
Okay. So this is the potential contributions of African immigrants in the United States. Number one, agricultural expertise. Many Afrikaners have extensive expertise in farming and land management.
We are lacking agriculture.
Cultural integration. Okay.
I've been hearing them say that since I was like in middle school, though, too.
What scares me about this is now that I'm thinking about this, like, okay, it's clear America has an immigration problem. They're trying to kick out a lot of the Hispanic and Latin community.
But they do agricultural work as well.
Right, and construction that we really need. But the problem is...
extremely well.
Fuck it, I'm going to say it. White supremacy, man. It is what it is. When you have their race that is now has a very low birth rate and population issue.
Important.
Yeah.
Important.
They realize that they have to collaborate with fellow other white
Y'all not procreating over there either.
Right. So this is an example of what a group of people, which they've done this so many times, y'all.
So then it's like, is it an infertility issue or they just don't want to touch each other? Like,
bruh. It's a lot of issues. Like, for one, the women don't find those men typically that attractive. So that's like, there is a thing about white women or women in general, like wanting more melanated men, for one, for whatever that case is. But that is a thing. On top of that, this is an issue where they are putting aside all the differences. They don't care what country you come from, what religion you have, or anything like that. They say, white first. If we don't take care of this group of people, then we're going to be extinct.
Wow, power.
So this is just some of the early stages of that. I know some people are like, Imani, you're probably thinking too extreme and stuff like that. Like, no, I read history. I know what they did before. This is what they did before. When they were scrambling for Africa, they put, like, the French didn't like the Italians, who didn't like the Romans, who didn't like the Spanish. They didn't like each other like that. They spoke different languages and lived, like, right next to each other.
They said, brother!
Right. So they teamed up to colonize Africa and to take the New World. So, all right. Let me see. Oh my God! I already see who's in the comments. Shout out to Lord Williamson, man. He said, "Why he lower his tone when he said white women?" What up, gang? What's poppin', bro? You know they. Hey, look, man. The snow bunnies never, man. Black women forever. Snow bunnies never, man. Shout out to Dr. Umar. But yeah, the Afrikaners are concerned about preserving Afrikaner language.
What?
Culture.
What is their language?
They think it's better to move from a country where Afrikaans is an official language to the U.S. How is Afrikaners an official language in the United States? I find that hard to believe.
English?
They aren't African. They are Hollanders. They aren't persecuted in South Africa. This is just international racism. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, go ahead.
South Africa is allowing them to do all the bullshit that they're doing. They got their own money. They got their own school. They're using their own power. They're using their own everything. Like,
I think we should start pointing the finger at the Elon in the room. Clearly, he's running our country. This is the work of a South African white.
It's time.
Okay?
It's time. It's time.
It's time for us to call a spade, okay?
Yeah, a Dutch, a Dutch. All right, man. This might get us canceled. Fuck it.
I mean, like,
care.
at the point where the richest man in the world's importing his own,
now,
his own people.
yeah, I know that y'all are, I know you guys have said that Afrikaners, that Elon Musk is not a direct descendant of Afrikaners.
Bullshit.
But it's hard to ignore the fact that his parents are Dutch in South Africa. So they may not be the Afrikaners, but they are really close related. They come from the same place. You know,
It's all in the same.
yeah. I mean, we're playing semantic games at this point. You know what I mean? But I can see the correlation, and it is very interesting that how Elon Musk is so ingrained and tied into the U.S. government right now with those.
Because they're probably going to find a way, a loophole, to make these people citizens.
Yeah, like dual citizens. Yeah,
Dual citizens, just enough that probably next go around he probably can run some way, somehow.
Because I look at the whole pot. Okay, the Ukraine and Russia war, right? You know there was a whole bunch of Ukrainian women here. The men had to stay in Ukraine to fight and die.
Oh, they're like, we need to populate.
So they brought a whole. I mean, if you go to Miami,
If you go to Pentagon City,
the Ukrainian women are here.
Yeah,
in
for sure.
In the United States, they are here, and the men are not. So that's like one thing, okay. But now you're pulling in Afrikaners from South Africa who are very skilled and doing their own thing. It's like they're preparing. It's like, okay, like what if we had to do an American reset? What if we did want to get rid of the black people here? What if we did want to get rid of the Latino people here? How can we survive by ourselves?
it's got to be a better way to do it.
Well, I don't know, because I mean, most of the American
Why
people are
don't
dumb as
they
hell.
just
So,
go back to their country?
oh, you know, that's what somebody with common sense would do.
Why don't you just go do that over there?
But with an American ego, you got to think, the way that how these people think is so arrogant to think that they can come into a whole nother continent, claim something to be their own because of manifest destiny and a piece of paper that said, hey, I know you guys have been living here like forever, but because of this piece of paper, God told me that I could kill all of you guys if you won't let me move in. So think of the mindset that these people had to have, the audacity to not just come to America, the entire North American continent and South American continent.
That's my thing. Like, can we have one to ourselves? Like,
They took the whole. Yeah, okay, map time. This is what I was like. Yo, wait a minute. These people.
we got to get a map button.
Right. Okay, guys. You see. Hold up. When I used to think about slavery and all this, I used to think it was just America. I think it was like, okay, it was just this. When I realized it was all of this, everybody here, they say if you can't get with it, get lost. Pretty much. Like if you stop believing in whatever you believe in this now.
Have you met our Lord and Savior?
Let me tell you
Are
about
you
this.
familiar with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
Why, Jesus?
Heavy on it.
Heavy on the white Jesus, man.
Oh my God. So wait.
Lord, you funny as hell too. Y'all gotta check out his Colombian video. That shit is hilarious.
I was gonna say, wait. Just a smidge off topic. Just a smidge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's fine. We do that.
Is there any South American countries that are like open arms to American blacks?
American blacks.
Or they're like,
Okay, I would say no.
If you know in the comments, please drop in the comments. I would love to know because it's like I feel like that's a closer commute.
Right. So I agree with you. I think when it comes to expats and African Americans, I think Colombia is a good one.
I've heard that. One of my coworkers, he's from Colombia. He always says that. He's like, listen.
I would say Colombia is a really good one. I would say Panama City, not Panama City, but Panama, the country.
Shout out to my pops.
Shout out to Panama, Costa Rica.
Okay.
Belize. Brazil is a tricky one because
Brazil is a little tricky from what I've been told.
yeah, I mean this
Maybe
Brazil
it just depends on where you are. Do
Right.
they call them states or countries?
Or they're like states. I think they call them provinces.
Okay.
But so I know a lot of people in the comments are saying Brazil. Now Brazil has the largest group of African people living outside of Africa. So you would think, oh yeah, this country is very much for having black people in this country. No, because unfortunately, the people in power, in political power and economic power in Brazil are fairer skinned people, more so Portuguese.
Damn.
And they're keeping more black people on the hush, on the low. So, yeah, we might be able to go. You're going to have to learn Portuguese. And, yeah.
Also, like, I think, like, Chile has, like, a huge amount of, like, I would say neo-Nazis. Like, they said that's where, like, they were harboring Hitler for a while.
Really?
Like, when they, like, faked his assassination.
Yeah. I did hear a little bit about that.
Like, they have whole cities and towns that,
Really?
like, speak straight German.
German? Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
You haven't heard about that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, man, you got to look into that.
Yeah, I'm definitely down looking at that. Chile is a very interesting country. And I heard Argentina's a little racist too, but that might explain it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's so close to Antarctica. Yeah, I know you.
Is it cold down there? Like, once you get down to the bottom of Argentina?
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
That's probably
this is where the penguins be swimming back and forth from.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would make sense if there's some caucuses down there.
Yeah, there's definitely some of them out there. I know a lot of you guys are
Whoa!
saying.
I'm sorry. South
hello?
Sandwich Island? What's that?
Oh, yeah, this is
Hey, I was today years old.
South Sandwich Island. You didn't know Sandwich had his own island?
No.
Yeah, man.
I thought it'd be prettier than that, but
Nah, it's pretty cold and
South Sandwich.
and
Where are you from? I'm from South Sandwich. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
I know a lot of you guys are like, okay, Salvador Bahia is a great place in Brazil, like Rio. Yeah, like I said, Brazil, I haven't been there yet, but from what I've heard and what I've researched,
Sao Paulo.
yeah, like Brazil is lit, but I don't know to live. And you definitely got to speak Portuguese out here too. In Colombia, like I said, I was in Cartagena, and there's so much beauty, so much culture. And one thing I like about Colombia too, their lifestyle, like they're really big into fitness and health and stuff like that too. They have one of the best health programs in the world, actually. But yeah, so Colombia is lit, Panama's right here lit, Costa Rica lit, Belize lit, and these are all countries too that are very close to the equator, where we are really good with keeping our melanin and keeping our vitamin D and stuff like that. So for Americans, this is just Americans talking about what happens if Black Americans got to hurry up and get up out of America. It would make sense. And I've actually heard a lot of things about Mexico too, good things about Mexico. Me personally, I wouldn't want to be on an island. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the island. I would want to be on the mainland somewhere. But outside of the Latin American countries, you guys know I'm coming over. You know where I'm coming at. I'm going over here with it. I'm over here with it, man. So, yeah. Rate yourself for the arrogance. Yeah, the arrogance is kind of crazy. Master PPP said, our courts have confirmed that dual citizenship is protected, so they will simply get fast track to U.S. citizenship and then come holiday in South Africa in December as a local. That is insane work. Okay. So that means that they're going to be able to make American... Oh, man, I see the play. Shout out to Terry. He said, for some education for you, definition is racism. Yeah. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by motivation in communities or institutions against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group typically one that is minority or marginalized. Yeah. So for this is a whole strategic play, man, because they are going to be able to get fast track to U.S. citizenship. So
I wonder why.
right. So they'll get U.S. citizenship while keeping South African citizenship. So you'll be able to make American money and go vacation and support South Africa economy for them, Orania and Afrikaners. So I see the play, man. It's dangerous. You got, yeah. Man, we damn didn't even need these videos, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this one real quick and see what else we missed here.
Today, nearly 60 white South Africans were admitted into the United
What's up?
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
60 is such a specific number. Like these are people who, not gonna say mean
had a
something,
particular
but yeah,
set of skills were chosen most likely. Like we want you guys here
handpicked
to come here. It's almost like a foreign exchange student. Like it's like we're gonna bring you here, get the education, knowledge, blah blah blah. They could conspiracy theory time. They could be like whole agents. You know what I mean? Like this is what we're gonna do with you, blah blah blah. And remember when we gave you the citizenship? Make sure you remember us when we get anyway.
I feel like this is like a sign more than any other. Like, let's go ahead and pack our shit up. It sounds like
Shout out to Big Four. He said best topic, bro. I'm South African and I want those those fackers to come back home. They gonna regret. Ain't nobody gonna put up with they shit. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I know a lot of times people might think that America is like a place where people can just get their racist shit off. No.
That's exactly what it seems like. They're like, finally, niggers. Like,
yeah,
what?
nah. Fuck around and find out. But even I mean, if these people were awful beefing with British white people, I mean, America.
Man, you gotta be bad to like
the beef with the British whites. I mean, America is damn near a bunch of British whites too. Like they call it the British whites colonized America first, and so you about to deal with a whole different breed of racist whites over here. Let them land in Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana.
I was going to say, educated racism and uneducated racism are not the same thing by a long shot. So
yeah, no, they're gonna be. He was like, take your ass back to Africa.
You's from Africa. You's a nigger to me.
Hey, oh my God.
United States. It's part of President Donald Trump's resettlement program for white Afrikaners.
They got the
largely
American
descendants
flag
of
with
Dutch
them?
and French colonial settlers in South Africa.
What the heck? They
Afrikaners
gave them
also
all
led the
U.S.
racist
flags?
apartheid
You know what's funny
government
to
there
me?
until
It might be one of those things like, you know how we talk about how we're trying to wrap our head around the colored situation.
Yeah.
Like, imagine the American whites trying to wrap their head around like white people from Africa, and they're like, "No, you're white. You're white. You are white. You're not. You're not from Africa. I know they brainwashed you over there for you to think that." And I don't know if I'm proving their point, but at the end of the day, I'm just like,
I think that they'll welcome in.
No. I think some places.
Yeah.
But there are, because we live in the, DMV. The DMV area, I think it's very easy to underestimate how uneducated most of this country is.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I get reminded every single time I leave this area.
That's why they came to DC.
Yeah.
LA is dead.
Right. New York, good luck.
That's why I'm like, they picked the right place.
Yeah, for a welcome. And I'm not gonna lie, this is just reminding me of like what ancient colonial times, like in the early like 1900s and late 1800s, were doing, like when they were bringing in new version of whites into America. This is what they did. Like at first, the white people did not like Irish people. They did not consider Irish white.
I think like even like not until like I would say like not even like a whole lifetime ago, like they still didn't. They were still like a minority. It's they were
treated like second class citizens. Like there used to be signs saying no niggers and no Irish. Like they used to treat white Irish people as like white slaves. And
I mean,
like they were white slaves and they were Irish.
The white people treat redheads, so it's like a whole nation
Yeah.
of them almost. But what was I gonna say? What was the name of that movie? It was an old musical. Anyway, I'll think about it at a random time. But like the Irish people were definitely outcasted.
Yeah.
Them and the Italians.
Yeah, and the Italians too. There was a whole big thing with the Italians making the mob and stuff like that. But they eventually got sucked into being white culture, and now they're just all white. I think they're doing the same thing here. It's like, okay, we found another group of whites that they're very skilled and talented in some things that we might need.
Yep.
Since we're getting rid of a lot of other skilled labor outside of here, bring them in, and let's continue this white power. But anyway, what do I know? But giving them American flag to come in is wild work, as our country has been trying to kick out so many immigrants and to welcome. It's like they're not even hiding the racism anymore. It's just like, yo, we want white and we want brown and black people out. That's what they want.
I don't even think they want us out. They just want superiority, like us to still like be lower class and do like the grunt work of certain like, trades and jobs.
Yeah.
And
because this is a capitalistic society, and with capitalism.
Because I feel like if they wanted us out, they would have us out.
Yeah.
They want us here.
Yeah. But they need a poor class.
Yeah.
In order to do.
But then it's like just enough, because it's like they still want us here to do the grunt work.
Yeah.
But they don't want the Hispanic people here to do the grunt work that they're willing to do.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying that all Hispanic people do that either.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of the times. Oh, my God.
I think the Latin community, I think Hispanics, they would have welcomed them into the white side more if Hispanic people would speak English. Because I think a lot of times, too, what's happening in America.
No, because there's, like, English-speaking Hispanic families that have been here for a while. They just don't have their, like, paperwork.
But think about it in droves. Like, most places, they're asking you, do you speak English or Spanish? Like, I have, how can I say this?
He knows things about things.
I know a lot of things, okay?
Yeah.
And because of the things that I know, there are people who will call into government agencies or state, local agencies and have entire departments dedicated to speaking Spanish.
Yep.
And for this to be an English-speaking country, we're forced, not wanting to, but being forced to be a Spanish-speaking country as well. So when they are being pushed to not only speak English, like, wait, these people are coming over here, and they're refusing to speak our language. They're going to keep their language.
Take that up with the other whites, because they made them speak Spaniard.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's still like a white on white thing. Like that was. I digress.
Okay. He said, I don't want to assume too much, but based on, are you part of the minority? I'm not sure if I missed something here. As a human being, I urge you to do some actual research, and especially where concentrations started and who were in them. Okay, see, now y'all really try to get me flagged off of here when we start talking about concentration camps. Anyway. Let's finish.
That ended in 1994. Today, the White House alleges that a new South African law, which redistributes unused land to the state, is racist, and that the white minority is being persecuted by the black-led government. President Trump even halted all aid to South Africa back in February. Applications from these white families were fast-tracked by the administration, even as it suspended the U.S. refugee resettlement program, leaving thousands of approved refugees worldwide stranded. Joining us now is Bill Freilich, the head of the Refugee and Migrant Rights Division at Human Rights Watch.
Yeah, what do you got to say, bro?
So President Trump was asked about the classification of these families as refugees. Here's what he had to say about conditions in South Africa.
Conditions?
It's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place. And
is he still getting spray tanned? I thought he let
farmers are being killed. They happen to be white. But whether they're white or black makes no difference to me.
Cap.
White farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is.
Okay, South Africa. I'm gonna let you guys speak for South Africans. Are black South African people going into Orania and killing white people and killing white farmers? Is this actually happening? Because this is our president speaking, and this is the intelligence that we're getting here. But we could actually talk directly to you all. Let us know, is this actually happening? Because I haven't seen no news about it, about South, and I don't know. My algorithm, we be in South Africa a lot, but I have not heard of white farmers being killed by black people.
I just feel like, why can't America mind its own goddamn business?
Yeah,
Why can't we worry about what's going on here? We're always sticking our nose in somebody else's business, trying to, delegate and regulate what the fuck they got going on.
Right.
What about the housing? What about how fucking high eggs are?
Right.
And you worried about something that's going on, and we don't even have a straight flight over there from here. I can't.
And
It's infuriating.
what are they doing to my camera, bro? See, this is what happens when your screen just went off, guys. Yeah, I know.
Oh, God.
I know.
Whoa.
Here we go again. Yo.
Top Hill, 2005.
Top Hill too real, y'all.
Does it look? I wonder if it looks that like.
It does.
Okay, yeah. So we got our 05 camera.
Right. To make it seem like it was old days. That's
Yeah,
how it
right.
Put it in black and white. It's like Martin Luther King about put them in black and white, make it seem like it's so long ago.
Jesus. Oh man. Did we get flagged last time?
No, we saved it.
Thank God.
All right. We're still here. So obviously, oh my God. Okay. They're doing their best to kick us out of here.
Oh my freaking stars. Oh, let's play the video, Monty.
Lord have mercy.
Oh my God.
It's
Again?
being confiscated in South Africa.
White farmers being brutally killed, their land being confiscated. What do you make of these allegations of white genocide, as the president has said, as we know Elon Musk has said before, and the classification of these families as refugees?
Yeah.
Special treatment.
This is not factually supported from any of the information that we've seen.
Oh, really?
The expropriation law that you mentioned only came into effect in January, and it is stated that it is for non-compensation for private land that would go into public hands if that land has been unused, if there's nobody living and working on that land or developing it. And so far, of course, none of that land has actually been taken.
Right.
So there have been homicide rates that are high rates in South Africa. I think it was like 13,000 in 2023, but only single digits were farmers that were killed. Now,
Less than
you
10
don't want
people.
anyone to be killed, and I don't want to disparage any one person's story, but we don't have the phenomenon of people fleeing the country as we do with refugees all over the world. There are about 38 million refugees in the world who, by definition, are people who've crossed an international border because they're fleeing persecution, they're fleeing war, they're fleeing
So
conflict.
for them to
And
say like,
there are no Afrikaner refugee camps.
Yeah.
The UN High Commissioner for Refugees didn't refer any South Africans of any background, of any race, of any language for resettlement in the last year. So this is something really new and different from anything we've seen.
And the families who arrived today were approved in a few months' time. We understand they're flown over on
Monty.
a State Department
What are we
chartered
about to
flight.
walk
Is that
into?
the usual process for refugee resettlement?
No, I mean, one, you often have refugees that have spent years and years in refugee camps. And then, out of the millions of refugees in the world, less than 1% are ever even referred for third country resettlement. They have exhaustive vetting, security screening, health screening, screening to make sure that they actually do have a well-founded fear of being persecuted. And they usually are people that have great difficulties in the country of first asylum. They're people that have difficulties in the refugee camps in which they're living. Maybe they're being persecuted in the country of first arrival as well. So these are circumstances that you would assess on a case-by-case basis. And that takes a long period of time to do. This was done in 3 months, and these are people that came directly from their country of origin. They were not people that were living in refugee camps. They were not people that were vetted by the UN Refugee Agency or referred to the United States in the normal way. And they were flown here in chartered planes paid for directly by the US. Usually it's the International Organization for Migration that does travel loans that refugees are expected to pay back actually upon arrival.
As we speak, we know the Trump administration has ended deportation protections for a number of countries, people from Afghanistan, Haiti, Sudan. The refugee resettlement program, as we noted, has been halted. It's very difficult to ignore the racial dynamics here. White South Africans have been allowed in while people from majority black and brown countries have been kept out. What do you see when you look at these policies?
Clearly there's a racial twist here. When you see again, going in the first Trump administration, where he described Haitians as coming from four-letter word countries, that he said he wanted people that looked like Norwegians to come to the United States. And in 2018, long before the Russians had invaded Ukraine, under the first Trump administration, the group that he chose to increase the refugee numbers were Ukrainians, while there was a dramatic decrease, slashing of refugee numbers in Africa, in the Middle East, and in the rest of the world. And so now we've seen a complete closing of the door, a total suspension of the refugee resettlement program for all refugees everywhere. And then 18 days later, another executive order that privileges only white South Africans.
Bill Freilich from Human Rights Watch, thank you for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, we're being under attack.
Oh my God.
We actually might need refugee status for South Africa because I don't know what the hell is going on with my camera right now.
What the freak? 3 Mondays in a row is crazy. Or 2.
This is an expensive camera. Like, this is not a cheap camera. It should not be doing shit like this.
We said the man's name too many times. What the hell?
Okay, so it's maybe...
At least they can still hear us.
Yeah, y'all can hear
You will never silence us!
In the heart of West Africa, a quiet rebellion is raging, and at the center of...
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh,
Not
okay,
yet.
okay.
Slow down there, buddy. I'm going to play another video for y'all while I'm trying to work on the camera real quick. If not, I'm going to use our backup camera. But I always got
President Trump is claiming they are victims of racial discrimination. He says they're being persecuted by their black-led government because of their race.
As a reminder, South Africa was controlled under apartheid rule for decades by its white minority. Under that system, black South Africans were denied basic rights. That system came to an end in 1994. And the current South African government is hitting back hard against Trump's allegations, saying it's completely false. They say Afrikaners are some of the richest and most successful people in the country.
White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller commented on the situation. Let's take a look.
What's happening in South Africa fits the textbook definition of why the refugee program was created. This is persecution based on a protected characteristic, in this case, race.
Others are hitting back on those claims. Journalist Jamail Hill writes on X, "Today, white people own 72% of the private farmland in South Africa, despite being only 7% of the population. Do with that information what you will."
Going on or disagreement, and the white South Africans want to come here. Why is that not a desirable outcome to make the country more peaceful?
The issue is the double standard of prohibiting entrance to the United States too.
So you're not really objecting to these people coming here. You're saying that it's just other people should not be.
Yeah, it is a selective application of policy that seems to me, and I'm generally reluctant to make these arguments, but in this case it seems to me the obvious common sense conclusion is it is done as a sort of appeal to white American racial grievance. Because look at all the other countries where there is far more egregious persecution of groups, the Rohingya in Myanmar, the Uyghurs in China, all sorts of, Libya is racked by all kinds of bloodshed, and we're not letting them in. We're letting the descendants of the drivers of apartheid in.
I think the Trump administration looks at it in a, well, who do we want in this country and who will contribute to order and wealth and prosperity here and who will contribute to disorder or greater crime or something like that. You said, we read that these are, I don't care about the race of the people whatsoever. I care about their wealth status, whether they're going to be net contributors or users of the welfare state. There's a wealthy people. I want wealthy people all over the globe to come to America. I want to ease our immigration rules so that can be wealthy Indians, wealthy Chinese people, wealthy South African people, people who are going to be net contributors to the economy. I want them all to come here independent of race. So I just don't have a problem with this.
Yes, but Robbie, let's not...
the Rohingya and some of those other groups you mentioned, I mean, those are refugees. I mean, they're in horrible situations, and I might be perfectly willing myself to open our programs to them.
Right.
But I think some of the concerns that will be raised are going to be about, well, are they going to be net drags on the economy?
But that's a much bigger topic of migration. Here we're talking specifically about refugees and groups that face persecution. And Afrikaners would not rank among the top groups that face persecution in the world.
All right.
In the meantime, the
he said that like that wasn't a fact. Like
Trump's temporary tariff rollback is next. Stay with us.
Guys, all right, hold on, man. This is some bull.
hey guys, it's us again.
We still here in 720p, but oh my god.
But we here.
But we here, y'all. We got
You cannot silence us.
at all. Oh my god. All right. Let's see. Let me get into the conversations. All right. We appreciate the engagement in the comments for sure. But we want to talk about the facts. The so-called black population increased from 3 million to 50 million in the last 100 years, which is why the farmland stats are disproportionate. They are also originally subsistence farmers. In your heart of hearts, if you had okay. All right. This is okay. This is what my thoughts is on this, guys. Let's be realistic. When we're talking about refugee status, we're talking about a group of people who are in danger in their homeland, typically done by if they're in war. So, like we mentioned the Ukrainian women before. So if the Ukrainian men are fighting against Russia, and there are active war zones going on,
Getting blown up by drones.
right, it will make sense that the people there who are not fighting at war are in danger. They're the casualties of war. So yes, they deserve refugee status. Okay, that makes sense. But the white farmers in South Africa, who are actually among one of the wealthiest people in the country.
Said 6 people died, and we are under attack by the blacks.
I mean, just think about that. They're in somebody went to Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and told him that they are being mass genocide of these white farmers, which is not true. It's just a lie.
Keep in mind, I'm not sure if he said 13,000, but they said casualties, and less than 10 of them were farmers.
Yes, he said 13,000 homicides in South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And less than double digits, less than 10 were white.
Were white farmers. Right. So it means that no, they were not being targeted. It's a very small number. But even if it was 9, what about all the white people that killed all these black people? What about the millions and millions? No. My
thing is, was it like one benign event that no one's talking about where all 9 of them died at the same place? Like,
right. I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it's very It's very interesting.
And calculated.
Yeah. What the fuck is happening tonight? Yeah, we are definitely not live anymore. Yeah, they kicked us off 5 minutes ago.
For what? We didn't even do nothing. They heard too many hard R's, too many snow roaches, too many's.
That.
Oh my God. And then the camera's delayed.
Yeah, we back. We don't want to be playing no more. Okay, we got it, Elon. Okay? You sabotaged our whole lives. First, you messed up my mic. Mm-hmm. Then, you messed up my damn camera. Mm-hmm. Then, you messed up my damn StreamYard. Mm-hmm. Then, you ended my damn stream. Mm-hmm. This feels like a subliminal attack. I don't know what it is about Top Hill.
A direct attack.
Look, we just, you know what I mean? We just be on the YouTube and the Twitter streets, you know what I mean? We just be saying our opinions. We watching videos that's already out here, and we just giving you our opinions and views. That's it.
Our strong opinions.
Yes. And shout out to all the people that are in the comments, watching and commenting and educating as well, too. Appreciate everybody. But yeah. But yeah. You thought you had me, but you didn't. All right. No round of applause for the Afrikaners, but okay, I have a better understanding now. Carmen, do you have any final thoughts, views, or opinions of what you think is going to come of these Afrikaners being so close to us now and being integrated into the American society?
It's okay. YN's going to get to him. Sure enough. One thing about it, you can't have nothing too nice.
Right. They'll be like, you know what? South Africa wasn't that bad.
I'm like, yeah. First of all, if they're allegedly coming over here for agriculture,
yeah,
then that means y'all ain't staying in D.C. Y'all got to go to Maryland or Virginia.
Right. Yeah. There ain't no agriculture in D.C. Nothing over there. We're just going to go to the Berry Farms. Like,
they building that up.
It's a different kind of farm, man. They ain't the kind of farm you used to. Go to Berry Farms and find out something, man.
That ain't even there no more.
Yeah, I know. But
even they can go over there. It's pretty nice now, but
yeah. Anacostia, go pull up on them, man.
Anacostia Park, maybe they start growing some stuff.
Top hill, they don't know. Top hill, just subscribe.